Two more prominent names were questioned today in connection with the Enforcement Directorate's probe into the Tollywood betting scam. That was cricketer Suresh Raina and actor Lakshmi Manchu. In fact, investigators allege that several celebrities and social media influencers promoted illegal betting applications by appearing in advertisements and social media videos. These promotions carried messages such as you can earn money for free. So it essentially encouraged users, particularly young people, to download and use these platforms. And according to the Enforcement Directorate, the promotions misrepresented the risks, while platforms themselves defrauded many users. The scale of the alleged operation is extensive. ED officials have named 29 Tollywood stars and several sports personalities in this investigation. And those under the scanner include Yuvraj Singh, Harbhajan Singh, Rana Daggubati, Prakash Raj, Vijay Devkonda, in addition to Suresh Raina and Lakshmi Manchu. The agency's working theory is that celebrity endorsements lent credibility to these apps, significantly boosting their reach and user base. Data compiled by investigators show that between January and March 2025, there were 150 crore visits to illegal betting platforms in India. The estimated size of this underground market is around 8.3 lakh crores. That's a whopping 8.3 lakh crores, which is growing at about 30% annually. And the government is estimated to lose 27,000 crore in tax revenues each year due to these activities. And according to the ED, the modus operandi involved presenting these platforms as hosting skill-based games, but in practice, the algorithms were allegedly designed to function as gambling systems with odds stacked against the user. Promotional material often featured celebrities demonstrating quick and substantial winnings, a claim investigators say was misleading. Tracking and shutting down these platforms has proven difficult. Many operate on a transient model, closing one site or app if there is official scrutiny and reopening under a new name with similar branding. Additionally, a significant portion of the ownership and technical infrastructure is based overseas, making legal action and enforcement more complex. Today's questioning of Raina and Manchu is part of a larger continuing investigation into how celebrity influence was used to legitimize and popularize illegal betting in India. An investigation that is raising questions not only about criminal accountability but also about the ethical responsibility of public figures who promote such platforms. Joining me on the show tonight, Dilip Cherian is the founder of Perfect Relations. We have Prahlad Kakkar, ad film director. Avishkar Singhvi is Supreme Court advocate, and Chavi Mittal is actress, model and entrepreneur. Prahlad Kakkar, as a veteran ad filmmaker, how much of celebrity responsibility do you see this as?
100%. Because see, I can understand if it's a model and they don't really know the ramifications of what they're doing because they're asked to model in a commercial. But if you're a brand, if you're a brand ambassador and you're actually playing yourself.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Actually playing yourself. And the fact is that you are actually promoting that particular channel or that particular product, then you are absolutely and completely liable. There's no question about it.
Okay. Dilip Cherian, when celebrities endorse products, is there some kind of understanding? Do they do some kind of checks and balance of the authenticity of the product that they are endorsing? In this particular case, it appears that there were several layers to it, that there was a problem with the app itself.
Mariam, celebrities are a soft target. Tax authorities and others would always like to go after them because it gives them a lot of views about what they're trying to do to clean something up. Now, I tend to agree that celebrities, smart celebrities, need to understand and take moral responsibility for the kinds of products or services that they endorse. But can celebrities actually be, the target of attack when you can't attack the actual problem, which is either the betting app or a housing company which does not deliver flats? The answer is no. But if you take action on them, you will get eyeballs, and that's what most people would prefer to do because of the fact that they don't do very much more. Can a celebrity actually check whether something is a game of skill or a game of chance? Can they examine the algorithms? I don't think so. So, I think that chasing after them is actually chasing the minnows. The people who are actually responsible are sitting far away, paying money to these celebrities to get what I would call attract the kind of users, but except for the fact that it is ethically unadvisable, I would say that chasing them is the wrong tactic.
Okay, so Mr. Singhvi, Dilip Cherian is of the opinion that perhaps the investigation is going in the wrong direction.
Firstly, I'd just like to preface my statement by saying that moral compulsions and the legal boundaries are completely different. They may have a moral responsibility to endorse a particular app which they know is on the marginal line of being legal or illegal. The issue itself is not being decided by the Supreme Court. Is currently deciding the difference between betting and gambling. Right now, it's being heard for days on end, and the judgment is soon to be reserved. So that's another issue. But having said that, ED, being the premier investigating authority, does have the jurisdiction to call any person if it deems that there is a nexus between the person who's endorsing a particular advertisement and the illegal, orchestrating of that entire conspiracy behind the scenes. Of course, the nexus would be on the basis that there is a prima facie link between the person who's a role model or an actor or a celebrity and the company. But there is a careful safeguard here to note that celebrities who are merely acting as professionals in their call of duty cannot be held culpable for the illegal activities of a business who they are part of. If the celebrity has no role whatsoever as an equity shareholder and is merely performing his role as a professional, one cannot hold him culpable for any offense whatsoever. You can call him for questioning to understand the nature of the dealings, but I think not more than that. And I think under Section 50 of the PLA Act, you're allowed to call a celebrity or a person associated with a business as a witness. But there are clear safeguards and there is a judgment. I don't want to put legal jargon, but the judgment of the Bombay High Court, which has been affirmed in the Supreme Court in great degree, is a judgment which imposes safeguards on the ED of what time you can call the celebrities and what are the manner of questioning and how long you can detain them, because they are not arrested until they are arrested. So all those safeguards must be adhered to, but you cannot circumscribe the power of the investigating agency unless there is absolutely no nexus whatsoever.
Okay. Come in now, Chavi Mittal. Actors like you, how much of R&D do you do before endorsing a product?
We try to do our best whenever something comes our way which we are supposed to endorse. There is a certain moral responsibility that I personally take when I'm approached to endorse a certain brand, in the sense that if I'm not personally a consumer of that brand, then I try not to promote it. For example, sugar is something that I don't promote personally. I can't comment on the investigation which is going on currently for the betting apps. Just for reference, I've been also approached by the betting apps multiple times, which I've sort of refused.
Why did you refuse, Chavi?
It's purely ethical reasons. It's not something that I do personally. It's not something that I approve of. I mean, you call me judgmental or whatever, but I feel that I don't want to associate myself with something that I don't personally do. But having said that, I think when you're advertising something, there is always this approach that the shiny side of the product has to be, sort of put forth. And not everything is always brought to light. This happens in every category, not just betting apps. It happens, when you talk about a non-stick cookware, for example, you don't talk about the carcinogens which are there in it. And as a celebrity, when you endorse something like that, you also don't say that, okay, this could possibly cause cancer. Having said that, as a consumer, when you decide to do something which a celebrity is endorsing, you always do your due diligence also. I mean, me as a consumer as well. Like if I see, for example, an Alia Bhatt promoting a sugary drink, and then at the same time in her personal video saying that, oh, don't add sugar to my coffee, I'm off sugar. There is a little bit of due diligence you do. But again, having said that, this is a larger thing to worry about, because as per a WHO report published last December as well, clearly said that betting apps cause a serious threat to mental health, as well as life, because it causes a lot of suicides as well. So definitely the responsibility is combined. It's a collective responsibility between everybody.
Okay. So, what's becoming clear here is, Prahlad Kakkar, that they knew that this was a betting app. Of course, there is an ongoing debate in the Supreme Court between betting and gambling, as Mr. Singhvi was highlighting, but they knew that this was a betting app.
Yeah, but you see, what they're looking at a very thin line between a game of skill and between betting.
Huh.
Okay, they're claiming right now that it was a game of skill and not just luck by chance, or betting as we call it. Okay, so they're thinking that they will get away in that grey area, but they're very, very complicit. And the fact is that the owners of that responsibility has to be with them, because they actually are the face and the brand and the communication, the people who are actually being influenced to bet on that particular platform or whatever else, is being done by these people and their faces, and they're earning money from it without any compensation. Now, without any responsibility. The fact is that today in advertising, it has become a rule that you, as a brand ambassador, if you don't do your due diligence, and if you are party to the business of conning people, then you are liable, you are likely to be fined. I don't know whether you can be jailed, but you'll definitely be fined. I think there's a particular rule that has been passed according to that.
But Mr. Kakkar, here the line is between what is ethical and what is illegal. It may be not ethical, but how is this illegal?
No, it's also not. It's also the claim that it's illegal because they say it's a game of skill and it's not a betting app as we describe it. Because a betting app is a game of chance.
Correct.
Whereas poker, for instance, which has been declared legal by the Supreme Court, is a game of skill.
Okay.
So there's a difference between playing poker and between a game of chance.
Okay. Avishkar, you wanted to comment?
So just 2 points on that. I think Mr. Kakkar mentioned some guidelines. I think in 2022, because I happen to be, witness to some of these guidelines. In 2022, there was guidelines for prevention of these misleading advertisements and endorsements by, people. But that was on the premise that the person endorsing the particular company or the venture knows that it is illegal. If he thinks that the venture is legal, he is perfectly within his right, legally, not ethically. I'm not going on the ethical boundaries, legally within his right to endorse that. And this guideline was also reinforced in the judgment of Indian Medical Association versus Union of India by the Supreme Court. And they said they must comply with the CCPA guidelines. Now, these guidelines are already in force. But the question which Mr. Kakkar is mentioning about it being a game of chance or being a game of skill, that's for poker and rummy, because all these websites are saying that it is a game of skill and they should be allowed to run a gaming house. However, the problem with that is that, and the question that the Supreme Court is asking is that whether even on a game of skill there can be betting and gambling. So the Supreme Court has a matter of decision, because everyone does not have the requisite skill to play the game of skill. Sometimes people just throw money and gamble even on a game of skill without mindlessly. And it is a policy decision in a country like India to stop people spending their hard-earned money from their parents and their savings on these websites and completely ruining their life and their future. So that may be a public policy decision that is completely within the realm of the government. Several states have banned it. The matters were challenged. They were set aside because they were put between under the ambit of gaming and not gambling. So there's a thin line. But if the person believes that it's a gaming exercise, which is a game of skill, and there is a legitimate business activity, then the celebrity is perfectly within his legal right to endorse it. That's my view.
Okay, I've just enough time for Mr. Dilip Chadian.
You know, the fate of all this depends on the courts, of course. If there's a policy decision that government wants to take to close all these apps down, that's fine. But to blame the celebrities, because these gaming apps will actually survive and thrive without the celebrities. So while I said the ethics of it may require them to look at what they're endorsing, the fact is that the instinct to gamble or to play games of chance is so great that governments across the world have actually found them a useful way to tax. So either bite the bullet and ban all these games and disallow all of them, or if you actually still want to earn revenue from them, then so will celebrities and actors. And I think, as I said, they are the low-hanging fruit, and attacking them does not result in anything that you want.
All right. You wanted to come in here, Chavi, after hearing all the stakeholders. What are your thoughts? Should it be banned completely?
No, that's a decision that has to be taken by the authorities. But I do believe what Mr. Dilip just said. I absolutely agree with him that if a decision has to be taken, then the decision has to be taken by the authorities. You cannot just blame the celebrities for endorsing. And I mean, the picture is still unclear whether the celebrities in question actually knew how legal was it, and ethical, a matter of ethics comes secondary. Right. So right now they're talking about the legalities of it.
Yes.
So that is something which needs to be looked at.
All right. Chavi Mittal, Avishkar Singh, Prahlad Kakkad and Dilip Chadian, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us.